மாதம்பட்டியில் ஓர் அற்புதம். பரிபூர்ணாஸ் ஐஸ்வர்யம் சீனியர்ஸ் லிவிங் பாரடைஸ்.
phone 9943299940.
விவசாயி, என்ஜினியர், அவங்க பசங்களுக்கு ஒரு பெஸ்ட் காலேஜ் AAA காலேஜ் ஆஃப் இன்ஜினியரிங் அண்ட் டெக்னாலஜி, சிவகாசி. கவுன்சிலிங் கோட் 4680. கால் 9944046643.
சிவராஜ் இயற்கை மற்றும் யோகா மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி BNYS அட்மிஷன் +2 மார்க் அடிப்படையில் நடைபெறுகிறது. நீட் தேர்வு அவசியம் இல்லை. தொடர்புக்கு 9842721500.
Bharati's Vedanta Elements Retirement Community at Vandalur, Chennai. For booking, call 7826878268.
So I am an anti-Congress person. I'm a non-Congress person.
Why you hate Congress?
I support Mr. Narendra Modi. Okay, as long as Mr. Narendra Modi is there, I am supporting him. Okay, I don't support any parties because so this is the only land we have. This is our land. This is a Hindu land, 100% Hindu land. I mean, nobody can dispute it.
Muslims and Christians, they have no space here.
How four peaceful religions evolved in India if we were secular, if we were not seculars?
So the Kashmir film made a great impact in film industry as well as the whole country. Why Kashmiri Files? Why not Gujarat Files? But you might be aware when the late 80s, 88, 89 it happened. By that time, here in 89 to 1991, there was a VP Singh government which was supported by BJP. Advani was supporting that. So the central...
This is an ill-informed question.
வணக்கம் அன்பு நண்பர்களே, மீண்டும் உங்களை சந்திப்பதில் மிகுந்த மகிழ்ச்சி. இன்றைய நேர்காணல் நிகழ்ச்சி நம்முடைய மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு எதிர்ப்பையும் எதிர்பார்ப்பையும் ஏற்படுத்திய காஷ்மீரி ஃபைல்ஸ் படத்துடைய இயக்குனர் திரு விவேக் அக்னிஹோத்ரி நம்மோடு இருக்கிறார். அவரிடம் கேட்பது நிறைய கேட்கலாம். தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் அக்செப்டிங் இன்டர்வியூ. ஆர் யூ பார்ட்டி மெம்பர் ஆஃப் பிஜேபி?
No, I am not a member of any party.
We can see that you are continuously supported by the central government. You will be part of a censor board. You will be the international film festivals convener, and you are a member of the Council for Cultural Relations. So we can see constantly three very important posts. So might be a good support from party as well as the government.
See, party and government are two different things, and I am a citizen of India. And is it wrong to work with the government of India?
Certainly not.
So this is like, it's fine. And even if I am supporting the party or the party is supporting me, this is within my constitutional rights. Why anybody has to look at it as if it's morally wrong?
That is why normally we used to color whether whom you are associated with. So that's the ideology behind.
No, it doesn't work like that, because see, all this central certification, film certification board and ICCR are both voluntary. These are charity works, you know, and you don't get paid a penny, not even one penny. In fact, you end up spending from your own pocket.
But you can influence hugely, no?
How can you?
You can censor, you can stop, you can encourage, you can encourage. Like this.
No, so this way, which means we have reached a situation or where we don't want to trust anybody. Then everybody can influence. But if the right people who have their heart in the right place with good intention, if they influence policies, this is the best thing to do.
You mean the right in the sense correct or right or left? That
No, correct, and also correct. No, I have nothing against right or left. People can choose to be any ideology. People can be anything, but they have to work for the interest of the country. So India first. And also I'm a qualified professional of cinema. So I'm on CBFC. After spending so many years in this industry, I know something, so that's why I'm there. And there used to be people who had nothing to do with cinema.
People used to obviously color you in the right side because you have a strong opinion about urban Naxals and the left wing and all these things. So they used to obviously color you the right BJP.
See, you have to understand what is left and what is not left. Okay, Left, what is left in India? We are not a communist country. So communist parties are dead parties. I mean, they are in Kerala, they are a little bit in Bengal, but nowhere else in India, nobody cares about them. So there are basically two party system we have. We have Congress and BJP, and both are welfare. Both of them believe in welfare. Both of them believe in integrity or unity. Now Congress is non-existent. Then you have regional parties in this country. Regional parties are basically opportunistic parties. Depending on which side they have to keep the balance, they go left or right. In India, nobody understands left or right in this country. So primarily you have Congress-centered parties or you have a non-Congress-centered parties. That is left-right of India. What Congress did was that Congress gave shelter to very dangerous communist people in India.
Dangerous communist.
Very dangerous communist.
You mean the ideology of the party which is existing
Not
now?
the ideology, the kind of communism is also a political philosophy, a theory. Okay, and it works for some places, doesn't work somewhere. If somebody says that democracy is the final truth, I don't buy that. Democracy has its own problems. Communism has its own problems. Nobody starts a new philosophy or ideology, okay, to harm the world. Slowly, the kind of people who take over that ideology or philosophy, they change it. No religion is bad, okay, but then the kind of people who take over the religion, they destroy it completely. So I am an anti-Congress person. I'm a non-Congress person.
Why you hate Congress?
Because I've seen it from my childhood, the kind of corruption, the kind of lethargy. In fact, everything which is not working in this country is because of Congress's philosophy, which is to save themselves first.
So every other party will come in the list, no?
Sorry?
Every other party will come in the list. Corruption, scams.
Not really, I won't say that. But yes, the parties which are either family-centric, they have this big problem.
Almost every other party is the same.
Yeah, so all regional parties are, so that's the unfortunate. And it all happened because Congress created that vacuum. Congress, because see, what happens is, today, tell me something, BJP is seen as somebody which supports Hindutva. Now see, every single party has started talking about Hindu. Janeudhari. Now Congress is talking about it. Congress is double-faced. They talk something somewhere else.
Even in Chhattisgarh, they are getting...
AAP is talking about it. Arvind Kejriwal is copying that. Mamata Banerjee also started for last few months started doing that. Shiv Sena, which became anti-Hindu, suddenly it broke and now the new Shiv Sena is all... So it's always a leadership. Okay, the party at the center, the most powerful party, will dictate where the country is going to go in terms of politics. So Congress took us into shortcuts. It took, like in Hindi they said topi baji. Topi baji ka matlab samajhte hain?
Copycat.
No, topi baji means by hook or crook, just get your work done. They cultivated that culture for 70 years. Okay. So that's why I am not with them. I have seen how the confidence of the country, the self-esteem of the country, the young people, everybody thought leave this country and run away from here.
You think it started from Indira Gandhi or from Nehru itself?
I did not live in Nehru's time. So I don't know.
You are a very strong man in history. So
yeah, no, I have studied it. I have written a book, Who Killed Shastri, about Nehru. And there is a book, a bestseller book called Who Killed Shastri.
Yes.
I'm not saying that Nehru was absolutely wrong. Yes, Nehru was romantic in some places, but his heart was in the right place. Okay, he was a true nationalist, that I cannot doubt.
So you mean that it started from...
it started primarily after the murder of or the death of Shastri ji. Okay, suddenly there was a vacuum. Indira Gandhi was not competent. Because she was not competent, she had to get people on her side. So she bartered with dangerous communist people. She bartered with corrupt people. She bartered with opportunistic people to be in her chair, in her power. And she gave the entire education and culture to communists in barter. Communists wanted that because they know that education and communication is the soft power of a country and they can use it to their advantage, which they did, they are still doing it. So from Indira Gandhi's times, and after that you see Sanjay Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, there is not even one achievement you can put on Sanjay Gandhi or Rajiv Gandhi. Even Indira Gandhi, besides nationalization of banks and all those kind of things, which I don't know were right or wrong. Besides that, even she has nothing, you can say she has done this great thing for the country. You know, so the problem is then, since then we have been going downhill. And then Sonia Gandhi's regime. So that's what I've seen with my own eyes. Everybody has seen it. And I think that's why not me, but the entire country voted for BJP.
In other way, we can think that, as you rightly mentioned, every other party is focusing on Hindutva. They are copying BJP. Then, is it not kindling and provoking a hatred between two communities? Because everybody will be talking about Hindutva. Then the Muslim minority, Christian minority may feel unsafe that everybody is on one side. So we may be targeted. We may not get our right.
See, this is. I'll tell you what. I'm not
BJP spokesperson.
No, let's keep BJP aside, because see, support, I don't know, it's only after Modi it's become a crime to support a party. Before that, nobody questioned who supports who. I mean, I have come to Tamil Nadu, people openly say I support DMK or AIMDK, nobody says. Why is it wrong to support a party?
Even in education institution, they will
I support Mr. Narendra Modi. Okay, as long as Mr. Narendra Modi is there, I am supporting him. Okay, I don't support any parties, because parties are organizations, and all organizations are corrupt in a corrupt country, and all organizations...
All the plus and minus they will have.
They have plus and minus, so let's leave that aside. I support Mr. Modi, and I support him unconditionally, 100%. I don't want anything in return from him. I've never ever in my dreams I can think of asking him for anything.
You can assure about some Rajya Sabha seats as well as some
even if you give me 1,000 crores, I will not go to into politics.
2 crores per tweet.
Huh?
2 crores per tweet.
Even then I won't go, because the kind of freedom I enjoy outside, I will not be able to enjoy this freedom inside. And I can be of better service to the country, to great Bharat, by being outside, by making movies, writing books, giving lectures, which I will not be able to do once I am in politics.
How history become your cup of tea? You seem very interested and digging deep dive into all the history, Thaskan fails especially, and the Kashmir fails also. Historically, how you are more interested towards the history?
See, we whatever we studied in history, we thought it is true. Okay, then I got my own mind. I came out of school and college, and so I got a little interested in knowing who we are, where have we come from. And I'm a great student of philosophy, and I'm a very deeply into Hindu philosophy, not religion. I'm not a religious person. I'm more philosophical person.
Spiritual person.
A spiritual person, you can say. And Hinduism to me is the greatest philosophy ever discovered in this world. So and all my speeches are full of only Hindu philosophy. I never talk about religion. Because I myself I'm not a religious person. I don't know about rituals, and I don't know too much about gods and everything. But I know definitely about Vedantic philosophy, Advaita, and all that. So
you separate about Hindu and Hindutva as two separate things.
See, this is all. I mean, it's like saying, do you think horse and horseness are two different things? Human and humanity are two different things. No, it's the nature of a human which is humanity.
So with all pride, you can claim that you are a Hindutva, okay?
Of course, I'm a born Hindu. What is Hindutva? Hindutva means the adjective, is the character of a certain thing.
They color it as a Hindutva is agenda of BJP. The Hindu is Hinduism, this is a religion. The Hindutva is agenda.
See, it's like saying that Israel is the agenda of Jews. So what's wrong in it? If Vatican is the agenda of Christians, what's wrong in it? Makkah is the agenda of Muslims. So this is the only land we have. This is our land. This is a Hindu land, 100% Hindu land. I mean, nobody can dispute it.
Muslims and Christians, they have no space here.
Why? Hindu is what? Hindu is anything which is, and Hindu is not a Hindi, it's not a Sanskrit word, it's a Persian word. So anybody who's on the side of the Sindhu, I did not keep that name. Okay, so this is, when I say, for argument's sake. Okay, let's not call it Hindutva. Let's call it Indianness. When I say Indian philosophy, what does it mean? Means the same thing.
If you ask me whether you are an Indian, every other Muslim or Christian of the India, they will say, yes, I am an Indian. If you ask the same sense, are you a Hindu? They will.
But what is India?
Of course.
No. What is India?
We are very much aware that even Arab countries, even now, even the Indian Muslims are called Hindis.
Yeah.
I am aware. But if you call them as a Hindu, they may have some separate point of view.
But they are Hindus. What are Hindustan? So people living in Hindustan, what are they called?
Previously, we were discussing the Hindu as a religion as well as a philosophy. Now it's a region. So we
See,
have to categorize
Hindus don't have any confusion in their mind. Muslims have to decide, okay, who they are, where they belong.
they are Indians.
That's an English word. Now, what is the translation of Indian?
Bharat.
They are Bharatiya.
Yeah, without India.
Right. So, which means they believe in Bharatiya philosophy. What is Bharatiya philosophy if it is not a Vedantic philosophy?
It's for all. It's secular.
What is secular? If we have always been secular, if we were not seculars, how Muslims would be in India? If we were not seculars, how Christians would be here before the constitution was written? How Iranis, Parsis, all these people live in India even before the constitution of India was written?
But
How Buddhism evolved? How four peaceful religions evolved in India if we were secular, if we were not seculars? Which other country? Is there any country in the world? No, you asked an important question. Is there any country in the world which has given birth to 4 different religions and still live peacefully?
it's only India.
So, which means you are secular by nature.
But you in your tweet, you are differentiating the Bharat versus secular India. So you want to distinguish secular India with Bharat. Bharat is a separate case and secular India is a separate.
Because I do not agree with this definition of secular India. I think the biggest...
You want to redefine everything. Hindutva, religion, region, Hinduism, Indianness.
Listen, I don't want to redefine. I don't have that power to redefine. But these are my beliefs. You are interviewing me. These are my beliefs. This is my faith. This is how I think. I think India's biggest problem is dividing India into Bharat and India. Right? This entire concept of secularism...
The constitution itself makes both senses as same, both words as same sense. We, the people of India, that is Bharat, that's how we start.
I know how it starts, but what I'm trying to say is this entire concept of secularism came only in existence during emergency.
Yeah.
Right?
70, yeah.
Ambedkar, in fact, in the Constituent Assembly, there was a major debate on to add word secular and socialism. Both of them, Ambedkar said no.
They left it to the future generation.
He said because secularism and socialism can be political agenda of a party, but cannot be the character of a nation. Okay, A. Second thing is that suppose we are good friends. Okay, we don't have to define it by a name. The goodness is there. It is existing in our nature and the character. My problem is this secular India divides majority and minority. The first thing secular says that we have to accept something which we are not willing to accept. So under the garb of secularism, you have to accept it. India's biggest problem is that we are still carrying the burden of majority and minority. As long as you are using these terms majority and minority, you are not secular in nature, first of all.
Then how you have to use?
You don't have to use. Why you have to use? We are all citizens of India.
Somewhere we have to identify, no? Majority, minority, Tamilian, North Indian, Gujarati, Marathi.
In social structure it can be, but not at the constitutional level. Right? Everybody is Indian. The biggest, in India, every square kilometer you see people are fighting only because of this. I am this. We have created an identity crisis in this country, okay, by emphasizing too much on secularism, on majority and minority. How are Muslims minority in this country?
This is the beauty of the democracy, no? We are all completely different, but
Come on,
we are all
democracy is not so beautiful as people are trying to make it out to be. There is no democracy in this world. There can never be what is democracy?
Comparatively, we are having it. No? We are enjoying it comparatively.
Comparatively, right? So you try to understand what I'm saying. The democracy, if you read, Socrates had said many, many years ago that it's going to convert into mobocracy. And that's exactly what has happened. So this entire thing, one majority becomes minority in another geographical location. Okay, you may be majority here in Tamil Nadu, you come in a different state, you are in minority. So somewhere's majority is minority. In India, you have localities which are Muslim minority localities. They are in majority over there. Where my office is, it's surrounded by 5 masjids and they are Muslim majority. I'm not against Muslims, but I hate this system in this country where people who have ruled us for 1,000 years, people who have converted our own people who have invaded us, who are not even born, they don't have roots here, Today they live here peacefully in an independent country, but we focus on them as minority all the times, as if they are weak or they have some problem, and therefore we should look at them carefully. There is no problem actually if you look at it. In India, there is no discrimination when it comes to the personal growth of a Muslim person.
As a filmmaker and a historian, you made a very
No, I'm not a historian. Don't call me a historian.
Yeah,
I'm a history enthusiast, but not a historian.
Excellent. So, the Kashmiri film made a great impact in film industry as well as the whole country. Why Kashmiri Files? Why not Gujarat Files?
Because so much was spoken about Gujarat. Gujarat has been in news for last 2002 for 20 years. For 20 years, non-stop it has been in news. The entire new generation has read, heard, they know everything. They know the names of the activists, they know everything. We have seen images, it's been on television, there has been news debates day after. But Kashmir is something we don't know about. Okay, and also Gujarat is not a civilizational problem. Gujarat is more a political issue. So I wanted to focus, and all my films, if you see, we are slowly focusing on civilizational aspects of our history. So that's why, and Kashmir, it was important for the world to know that why Kashmir is so important for us, what happened in Kashmir, and also the victims of genocide who had no recognition. I wanted them to get recognition. The film has achieved that. All over the world, people are not talking about it.
Won't it provoke the hatred between two communities, digging into the old history, what happened in the partition, what happened in Navakali, what happened in Kashmir? Like, if we start digging all the histories, won't that provoke the...
This question is very childish. I mean, it is like just because the truth is bitter doesn't mean you don't tell. By that logic, Holocaust movies, World War movies, partition movies, Gandhi's film, nothing should be made.
When we make it as a documentary, it will give a different color. When you make a film,
why all partition? Schindler's List is also a feature film. I mean, the impact of feature film is very different from a documentary. How will the new? If I had made a documentary, nobody would see it. Today, millions of people have seen it. The entire generation has known. And what is the hatred? Where is the hatred? In fact, the Kashmiri Pandit community, for 30 years, there was a hate towards them. Nobody cared about them, have started healing after the film. Film has become a healer. So that to me is more important. And I don't believe in this hate. The real hate was people who killed Hindus in Kashmir. That is the real hate.
But you might be aware when the late 80s, 88, 89, it happened. By that time, here in 89 to 1991, there was a VP Singh government which was supported by BJP. Advani was supporting that. So the central...
This is an ill-informed question. I'll tell you why. Because a lot
correct.
of people
please
say
correct
that.
Me. Please correct me.
Because whatever had to happen happened between 85 and 89. It did not happen on 19 January 1990. Okay, till 18th of January in 1990, Farooq Abdullah was the chief minister. He left on 18th and 20th Jagmohan came over there. This is true that yes, during that time, but it's like you put somebody's house on fire and then you say, oh, but at that time you were, you were at the fire station. So the thing is, the whole terrorism had seeped into Kashmir. By that time, there was no way out.
I completely agree. So, exodus or genocide can't happen a single day.
And I don't care if BJP, I am not a ठेकेदार of BJP. It's not that I don't know what happened at that time, why BJP did not do anything. If they did not do, then they are equally responsible for that. Whoever. In my film, I have shown everybody failed. In my film, I have not minced my words that this person failed, this person. I said politics failed, bureaucracy failed, media failed, human rights people failed. Every single person failed Kashmiri Hindus. This is what the film says.
Yeah, because just the question raises just because BJP withdrew its support to VP Singh government because not allowing the Rath Yatra in Bihar by Lalu Prasad, but never raised this Kashmiri issue in parliament.
So it was their failure also, yes. It's everybody's failure. But then they came, I think I don't blame even VP Singh, because VP Singh came at a time when nobody could have done anything. By that time, Kashmir was already burning. And Kashmiri Pandit had left. By that time, the genocide had taken place. They came after the genocide took place.
So next is Delhi Files.
Yeah.
The name itself creating a lot of expectations and of course, obviously some oppositions also. it's going to be discussed about the riots.
Which riots?
I don't know. You have mentioned the Delhi riots, so Delhi fields might be for then encounter hai.
Delhi has had lots of riots,
Yeah,
so
of
we
course.
don't know which riot.
Yeah, very recently Sikhs Punjabi riots. इसके पहले जो Muslims का हुआ था और वो भाटियाला हाउस शायद वहाँ का भी encounter का भी एक
So, Abhi, it's too early,
lot of
too early for me to say anything.
Delhi files.
But yeah, this will be, it will also reveal some very important aspect of our history. Yeah.
My last question in this interview: is it right and good to brush aside all the free thinkers as urban Naxals and leftists? We need not to.
No, anybody who does that is wrong. Nobody should do that. Nobody should do that.
Recently, you retweeted one thing. Zubair was released on bail, and some journalist gave jamin to him, and you retweeted that this is how the system works, the ecosystem works, and read my book. That's all. So, if someone is giving, because we have to trust the
No,
legal
not
system.
Zubair. Not Zubair. Zubair is not a free thinker. He's not even a thinker. So please don't make a mistake of putting him in that intellectual category. These are very vicious people. These are dangerous people. And
But he was given supported by Srinivas Jain. So you
maybe that's about Srinivas Jain. I am not commenting on Srinivas Jain. Whatever I have written is about Zubair. Okay, these are dangerous people. Who are these fact checkers? What are they fact checking? Okay,
a lot of disputes are there. I agree.
yeah.
Completely.
So these are dangerous people. He created a lot of communal hate after Nupur Sharma's, and before that also he was doing. He's a troll. See, he used to run a very popular troll account, and slowly he became fact checker. Who is a fact checker? Everybody is a fact checker. And under the garb of fact checking, they also spread a lot of fake news. Okay, they see what it's a narrative. How you create narrative. So he provoked Muslims. He created a situation where people in Udaipur went and cut somebody, beheaded somebody. I mean, in a free country, how can you tolerate these things? And whatever court says, I don't care about it, but I think Zubair is personally responsible for that beheading in Udaipur and all these threats and the atmosphere which has been created. And since Modi government has come in place, Zubair, people like Zubair and many other people, they have been creating this Hindu-Muslim problem, conflict non-stop, and all they want is to create a kind of riots in this country. That's what they are trying to do. Right from Akhlaq's case, where they misrepresented that case out of context and they absolutely lied about it, to Rohit Vemulla's case, to so many cases I have seen, they have misrepresented them to provoke Muslims and to tell people internationally and global world that in India Muslims are not safe, which is absolutely wrong and it's absolutely fake narrative.
Thank you very much, Agnihotri, for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.